United States submarine base at Key West, Florida. A dispatch that quoted President Truman's press secretary, Charles Ross, as saying that President Truman has no knowledge of any secret project by this government that would give substance to the existence of such objects. Ross also said that both the Air Force and the Navy deny that such objects exist.
Hi.
I want to say whoever has my voodoo doll, if you're gonna torture it, just kill it. At this point, just fucking kill it. Stop putting needles in my fucking face and breaking my fucking arm. Just rip my fucking head off and run me over, please.
Yeah, don't be a coward.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just so fucking sick of this pussy shit. Anyway, hey, what's up? My name is Noelle, and I don't know if I've talked about it here or not. I don't know if I've sung the praises. I think I may have, but that's just how much of a profound impact it's had on me. So I am a cold, crispy can of Diet Cherry Coke.
Fucking, you've never not talked about it. The fact that you think you
it.
haven't talked about it breaks my brain.
I love it. I just think about
all
it every
you
day.
do is all you do is talk about fucking Diet Cherry Coke or whatever, sugar-free Cherry Coke.
It's new.
Disgusting.
It's new.
And that's
it's
crazy.
Changed my life.
Because since we hit stop on the last recording we've done, you have not stopped talking about it. You love that shit.
Love it. It's limited time, and when they take it away, they're gonna have to lock me up.
Yeah, you're gonna be jonesing. And I'm Chelsea. I'm the state's witness turned private eye.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm thinking about what we're talking about today, and I wanted it to be a little on topic.
Oh, we are. You kind of also spoiled it because I wrote this in a different way. So stop talking about that, and we'll talk about that in a different
that
manner.
Spoiled nothing.
Kind
State's
of
witness
did.
turned private eye.
Kind of did. Kind of did.
What is this? It sounds like a bad porn.
Well, I mean, yeah, true. Also that. Before we get onto the episode, I want to continue talking about drinks real quick. There are two drinks. Anyone out there listening who is a fan of drinks, there are two that flew too close to the sun. Some would call them an Icarus, if you will. The first one is the Liquid Death. Came out with a limited edition Fruity Pebbles flavor, and frankly,
Crazy.
It tastes too much like Fruity Pebbles, and it's sick and twisted. I have never had anything in my life taste like that before, like so spot on that you're drinking it and it's freaking your brain out. It also made me realize that maybe Willy Wonka would have sucked because it's actually gross to have a gobstopper that tastes like Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Same concept. So it's actually in practice horrible and disgusting and revolting. The next one, so 0 calories diet soda savants will know that one of the best is the root beer, the like 0 sugar root beer. It actually just tastes like regular root beer. It's iconic. Well, the sick, twisted, demonic freaks over there at A&W came out with a sundae ice cream flavor in the 0 sugar variety. This is another Icarus. It tasted like chocolate soda. And there are two things that I love, chocolate and diet soda together. Kill yourself. It was atrocious. And if I'm being honest, I actually returned it. That's how bad it was. I physically took it out of my refrigerator after one can that I didn't finish, and I put it in the backseat of my car, and I took my fucking happy ass to the store, and I said, I would like to return this because it's fucking disgusting. And they said,
they were like,
okay.
Oh, right. Returning soda. Whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? These are the only few benefits of capitalism, is that I could do that. So that's been my soda reviews. Just a warning out there to everyone. So anyway.
I like water.
No, you don't.
I don't like water.
You don't. Don't lie.
Yeah, I'm lying. I have to drink water. I have to raw dog water because I can't put anything in it or I get a headache. So I can't enjoy the soda game like I used to.
You're missing out. It's really come a long way. But
Emma, you just talked about all the ways that it's been terrible.
those are only two out of the like
Two out of the
17,000.
three that you talked about.
No, you
Yeah.
know what? You know what I will also say? Speaking of good things that have happened in the water world,
Oh,
the
that's
dog
awful.
just scared the
No,
fuck out of
Oliver is
her.
fully bending over, grabbing his ankles, butt ass naked, and it made bear bark, which
Ew,
scared
you
me.
saw inside
So
of his
I
asshole?
get, yeah, I saw his whole personality until I
Ew.
leaned back to see what bear is barking at, and I get accosted not only in my heart, but also in my eyeballs.
Is that why you jumped, or was it the dog barking?
Well, bear barking made me jump, and then I turned to look at what he was jumping at. This is a dramatic reenactment that doesn't work well on voice only
Hmm.
platforms. And I
Yep.
turned and I looked to see Oliver completely naked and bent over.
That is
And now my
upsetting.
heart rate is at 82.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
That's upsetting. Well, um, you can drink bubbly, can't you? Or you hate that?
No, it doesn't taste like it. It tastes bad
Oh.
to me.
Well, maybe you're thinking of LaCroix. Bubbly has a flavor
They all taste
that's
the same,
no,
Noel.
it doesn't. It's the like rocket
Yeah, it
pop.
does.
You know, like the summer rocket pop. It's that flavor and it's delightful. So, anyway, now I'm off my soapbox of drinks and soda, and let's get on a different soapbox. Today, we are going to be talking about reality TV.
Hell yeah. My favorite kind of TV.
Same. So, in the early 90s, MTV changed the landscape of TV forever. It shifted from music videos to unscripted content that captured raw, messy human behavior. Blending pop culture with voyeuristic drama, the shift into reality TV was a mix of economics, audience trends, and experimentation. First and foremost, they needed cheaper content. Producing music videos and scripted shows was expensive. If MTV licensed an existing top 40 video, it might cost anywhere from 5,000 to 25,000 for usage rights per video per year. Production from scratch on one music video, which MTV occasionally did for promos, could run anywhere from 50,000 to 200,000, especially for big name artists. Half-hour scripted series could easily cost between 200,000 and over 500,000 per episode. You're thinking like actors, writers, sets, post-production, and that's on the low end for TV, but still steep for a cable channel whose main bread and butter was cheap content and unemployed teens. So MTV hires the creative duo of Mary Ellis Bunham and Jonathan Murray. Mary Ellis was known in the industry for being able to stretch small budgets and create ongoing character-driven drama. Her name was on pretty much every soap opera at the time.
Dude, that sounds so familiar. The Bunham Murray.
Yeah, I think like that's actually the name of it. It's their production company was similar to like how lawyers do like, Johnson and Hayward law firm. They
They
literally
have
went by.
done everything. They've done Real World, Road Rules, Bad Girls Club, a personal favorite.
Mhm.
The Challenge. I love The Challenge. Don't forget the lyrics. Project Runway, Vanderpump Villa, WWE Evil, uh, Best Inc. Let me see what else they have. The Howard Stern Show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I Am Kate, Chloe and Lamar, Living Lohan, Love Cruise,
Living
Project
Lohan.
Runway
Oh my
All
God.
Stars. Fuck, dude, they've done everything. Total Divas.
Yeah, they literally have done everything. And um, so Mary Ellis was like Miss Soap Opera on a budget, and Jonathan was a news producer who focused on more documentarian pieces. Together, they would come up with and pitch the idea of a cheaper, grittier Beverly Hills 90210. Mary Ellis reportedly said, quote, "What if we cast real young people instead of actors, just put them in a house and film them living their lives?" And that was it. That was iconic. That was
Genius.
revolutionary. And this wasn't a completely new idea. Apparently, PBS's An American Family in 1973 had done something similar, but Mary Ellis and Jonathan added a modern youth-focused confessional style and more dramatic and editing. And now, like every single reality show ever has the confessional style, like talk to the camera about what just happened type beat.
Hmm. Yeah.
No actors meant no union contracts. Scripted TV meant hiring professional actors who were covered by SAG and paying set salaries per episode. The pitch for casting, what would be dubbed as reality TV, they would just have regular people fill out applications and send in short introductory videos about themselves. The chosen individuals would get a small weekly stipend. In the first season, it was reported about $2,600 total per person for the whole run, which on a 13 episode series would be $200 per episode per person. And that cut alone was massive.
Yeah. It's insane.
Also a little unethical. Yes.
Yeah.
No writers meant no scripts. Scripted TV required a writer's room, story editors, and rewrites tens of thousands of dollars per episode. In reality TV, the story emerges from what actually happens, so writing costs are minimal. Mostly post-production story editors who assemble episodes from footage was where the money went. One location meant minimal set costs. For MTV's first reality show, The Real World, which aired on May 21st, 1992, they rented a real loft in Soho, New York, and just furnished it. No building sets, no location changes, no expensive permits. The loft doubled as both set and housing, so there was no need to pay for hotel rooms or separate living arrangements. Overall, this meant a smaller crew as well. You could cut lighting, set design, props, hair, makeup, costume, etc. For The Real World, they used a lean team of camera operators, a sound mixer, and a handful of producers who often did multiple jobs. Long shooting periods meant high yield for episodes. Filming 24/7 for a few months gave them hundreds of hours of usable content to slice into 13 or more episodes. Scripted shows would shoot for a few days per episode, so cost per hour of finished content is much higher. And the bottom line was money. A single half-hour scripted episode of TV in the early 90s might run 200 to 500K. An entire full season of The Real World cost under 250K. MTV executives basically looked at a spreadsheet and saw we can get 13 episodes of reality for the cost of one episode of a scripted show, which ended up giving reality TV the insider name of soap operas without the soap.
Yeah, they're dirty.
They are dirty and disgusting. And I think I'm going to talk about it in a second, but they also like were pioneering ethics. I feel like the first episode or the first season of The Real World didn't have like too much drama. So I'm pretty sure they planted stuff. Like I think are you looking this up? Please do, because I'm going off of like an old
Yeah.
memory. They planted something in the house for the rest of the roommates to find, and it like stirred up some fucking drama. And it was like, okay, sure, reality TV in a way is like a little unethical, but like doing this is even more insane. I think like someone did porn or something and they left the magazine out. I'm pretty
Let me
sure.
look. I'm trying to find stuff, but it's like New York Times and it's trying to make me pay for it. I just looked up drama in the first Real World season,
Oh,
but
there's
a lot of it,
probably a
the
lot.
the Google AI says that it was a lot about just interactions with race and sexuality. One major point of contention was between Julie Gentry and Kevin Powell. And then there's also one of them was accused of being gay in high school. It really gave me nothing. I
Yeah,
got
well,
nothing.
anyway, know that something like that happened. But by the early 90s, MTV wasn't just a music video channel, it was a cultural hub for teens and 20 somethings. Reality TV let them focus on relationships, conflict, and lifestyles that resonated with their target audience, making viewers tune in for characters, not just songs. In the 80s, music videos were their main draw, but by the 90s, MTV faced competition from other music outlets like BET and VH1. They needed new programming to keep people watching between the music. And the early 90s overall saw a rise in unscripted formats, beginning with shows like Cops, which premiered March 11th, 1989. One of the
Okay,
earliest, what?
real quick. I
What?
was gonna ask, what was your first reality TV show that you ever saw? And in my mind, I had a completely different answer. It was gonna be The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie.
Hmm.
But now I realize it was fucking Cops was probably the first reality show I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, I think Cops was definitely one, or even, as you'll see here, America's Funniest Home Videos in 1989. That was
Yep.
also considered reality TV.
Yep. Okay. So then I was much more impacted by reality TV than I realized growing up.
Yeah, and like reality TV branched off into like different genres of it.
Yeah.
But I would say the first reality TV I watched was probably America's Funniest Home Videos, and the first show that I actually got into was The Simple Life and then Jersey Shore.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I loving Jersey Shore. I think loving Jersey Shore crawled so that my love of Furbies could reemerge and run, I'd say.
it's an interesting parallel.
Dude, I like what I fucking like, you know?
Oh, it's just like it encourages and improves nostalgia.
I think so. Do you remember ever getting shit for liking stuff like Jersey Shore or Rock of Love, where people are like, I don't watch that shit. And it
Um,
was very much a like,
like a
I
like
don't,
a pompous I'm better than you.
yeah, or it was like, oh yeah, I read Twilight, and people are like, I don't read stuff like that. I don't read young adult novels. Blah, blah, blah. There was always like a certain degree of other when it
Hmm.
came to liking trashy reality TV shows. And it was very much like people would try to attribute that of being like a pop culture idiot. But
Well,
these have been rooted in the cultural zeitgeist. So, dare I say, I was merely a fucking anthropologist.
I would say, and also for those who listened to like the old vampires panel I did, and specifically about Twilight and people hating Twilight, if anything is considered feminine leaning or made for the feminine gaze, especially if it's teens, like young teen girls, it's in the cultural zeitgeist considered like cringy, unintellectual, trash. Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what you're talking about, it just always is. It falls into
Dude,
that category. People can't stand when teen girls love shit.
yeah, it's both revered and worshipped, and then at the same time demonized and hated. Like if you don't fit into the cookie cutter vision of what a teenage girl should be, then you are immediately cast out of what's considered hot. You're cast out of what's considered like cool. But if you identify with anything other than the mainstream, then now you're like, oh, you're a pick me and things like that. Like it's so weird. You can't fucking win. So you have to hide everything you like as a teenage girl.
Well, then it's also
And
just like the unfairness between stereotypical gendered things, right? Because like
yeah,
people want to talk shit on Jersey Shore or Twilight and say that it's like trashy, unintellectual teen bop garbage, but then it's like, what the fuck is Transformers,
I
bitch?
was literally just gonna say this is
Or
probably why girls have to adapt and become pick-me's because I'm sure we were all pick-me's in one way or another when we were younger, but it's because we had to hide anything we truly liked and then pretend to like these other things or force ourselves to like the other things just so that we can fucking exist and be able to talk about shit we liked without being demonized or being accused of being like an idiot or
yeah,
like, oh,
smooth
girls
brain.
can't live without makeup.
Yeah.
It's like you conditioned me to feel ugly without makeup. This is becoming off topic, but
Um,
I will
but
protect reality TV as being culturally relevant until I fucking die.
always has been, always will be. So it started it technically what yeah, it started with Cops and then AFV, and then in 92 MTV's The Real World premiered, pioneering the confessional camera style where cast members speak directly to the camera and use multi-camera. shots and angles. And that speaking directly to the camera is the tea because it's not just a confessional, it's them breaking like the fourth wall to talk to you as the viewer, which like embeds something in your brain to have more of an investment in the storyline and to the individual people.
And that's still like something that carries on into almost every other reality show now. If you don't have that, it's almost super weird. It doesn't fit right. Like for example, Teen Mom, when it rebooted the newest series, they broke that fourth wall. And so now like it will show them talking to their producers and stuff, and everybody was like, that's crazy. It's never been done before. But really it's just going back to the roots of reality TV, where they can now insert their narrative of what's going on other than just being observed from afar.
Oh, and that's my favorite. So we're going to talk about the Osbournes in a second, but the Osbournes was put on Prime after Ozzy died, RIP. And that Osbournes was one of my favorites. The Osbournes was everything to me. And some of my favorite bits in the series are when like Ozzy or Sharon or anyone talks to the camera crew, because it just
Mm-hmm.
goes to show like how embedded in each other's lives they were. Like there's an episode where Ozzy is trying to build a fire on the beach for Sharon, and he goes to the fire department to get a permit for it, and he's filling it out and they need his address, and he like goes like and then he turns to the camera crew and he goes, what's my address, where do I live? And it's just like that's
Yeah.
so it's so silly, it's so simple, but it's, I don't know, the best. I appreciate the confessionals, but I appreciate it more when they talk to the producers, or when like the producers, you hear them in the background like say something. I think it's the best. I think it's so funny because it like walks that line between we're watching someone in this like tube, this
Mm-hmm.
television, and
Yeah.
they're not like, they're like away from me, to making them like almost tangible and human and right in front of you. So it's very fun.
Yeah, it's seeing how the food is made and it isn't that revolting, so you're okay to eat it.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I forgot they're real. Um, so they would use these multi-camera follow-along setups to capture real-life drama among a random group of strangers living together. It broke new ground as the first sustained experiment in unscripted storytelling, setting the formula: interpersonal conflict, romantic entanglements, and real-world issues under one roof. With the real world being an unprecedented success, they would launch Road Rules in 1995, which expanded the format into a road trip competition. Later, MTV Cribs in 2000 and Jackass in 2000, which tapped into viewers' fascination with celebrity lifestyles and extreme stunts. Which, it's so crazy to think that like Jackass was also reality TV. I don't know, wild.
So not having cable growing up, not even like I don't think cable came into my household until after I had graduated from college. I
Whoa.
didn't get to be a part of a lot of this. So even just getting your hands on it and being able to consume stuff came through like the most salacious clips, or like when Jackass finally like became a movie. That was the only way I was able to get this stuff.
You didn't see Jackass till it was a movie?
No, because I didn't have cable.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I missed so much of this, but it made it so that I had to well, then you thank God for YouTube, like you could get the different clips and stuff of it. But I think that that's why a lot of my childhood was spent very, well, I don't
Raw.
want to say it was like super different, but it was just like this explains a lot of stuff because I had five channels, man, till college.
That is actually insane to me. That's a form of child abuse, in my opinion.
My parents were like, go outside.
I can't even believe that. That's
Isn't that crazy?
crazy.
Yeah, I had to play
Were you
outside.
bullied a bunch because you didn't understand the culture?
Actually, this is so, I was thinking about this the other day. Growing up, I also didn't get braces until college. So I had fucked
Double
up
homicide.
teeth. Yes, I had fucked up teeth. But I think that that made me have to adapt to be unbullyable, in the sense of like, I was pretty clever. I wasn't the class clown. I wouldn't describe myself like that. But I was also like very nice and friends with everybody. And I survived unbullied. One kid said one thing to me one time.
What did he say?
We were at lunch and it was in high school. And these girls were like, I don't have a boyfriend. Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? And I went, I don't. And he goes, I wonder why. And they went chomp chomp with his teeth. And then everyone was like, ew, fuck you. Like it was like
Because
an
you
immediate,
had jacked up teeth.
yeah,
How bad were they?
they were pretty bad.
Was his comment fair game?
Yeah, I mean, I I still had boys who like liked me though. Like I went to every school dance, but I
Just
was
with
all
your mouth closed?
yeah. Oh, you won't all of my photos like growing up are my mouth is closed in my school photos. But I wasn't like that bothered by it until I got older because like first off, little kids don't care. And in high school, I didn't care that much because I was like a super fucking nerd. So it wasn't even on my like I just wasn't into boys. That's the day I got braces.
Oh my God. Oh
Isn't
my
that
God.
crazy? The day I got braces.
Oh my God. Those are scary.
Those are so, it looks like I had a fire. It looks like someone punched my mouth and it caved in.
Yeah, it looks like you were in a horrific accident and that's what your mouth was as a result of it.
Yeah, it
You
looks like I
look
tried to
like
smoke a lit firecracker.
you look like a cartoon. Like they're almost cartoonish. Wow.
Yeah, super bad teeth, right? Bottom
Wow.
crooked, top crooked.
I mean, I'm a bottom crooked type of girl, but that is
Isn't
something
that crazy?
special. That it's
Yeah.
like a cart. It's like that. Oh my God, what was that like MySpace era cartoon that was like the angry Happy Tree Friends? You have a Happy Tree Friends mouth, all fucked up.
Yeah,
Man,
it was super bad, but I had adapted to where like nobody ever bothered me about it. I did have boys that I liked and boys liked me, and I think it was just because I was fucking cool.
you gotta be with those fucking chompers,
Dare
man.
I say I had
Shit.
more trouble dating after I got my braces taken off. Now I'm too intimidating.
Yeah. I mean, also shout out to orthodontists because your teeth look great. They really pulled off some fucking wonders.
Thank you. Yeah, this is tell me God isn't real by looking at these chompas.
They
No.
did
Um,
they did miracles.
it
Wow.
also took so long because my mouth was so fucked up that I had to get like four teeth pulled because my mouth wasn't big enough for my teeth. But you have to wait until you lose. It was like something weird. I had to wait until like I lost all my baby teeth, and then I had to wait to get my wisdom teeth out, and then I had to expand my palate with a
Yeah, I was
little
gonna say
key.
you were
I
one
had
of
the
those
key.
bitches who had the key that you had to fucking crank every night because
Yep,
that
I
shit
was a key
looked
girl.
cooked.
It sucked. Like if you like if you put your fingers on your front teeth and pull as hard as you can, that's like what the pressure would feel like. It was just pressure, dude. But anyway,
Damn.
all that to say,
You had a lot of things beating you down. Watching Jackass wasn't one of them on your top
thank you.
five.
That's the point I was trying to make. I
Yeah.
just I had bigger problems. And it
They're
was
like,
all things that I couldn't change about myself.
when people would like reference it, did you just like laugh and pretend? Because like I grew up with people who were like reenacting Jackass all the time. Like every single person I knew was like, I'm gonna film a Jackass video, and that's just what they would do for fun.
Let me tell you about what it was like growing up in Utah, Noel.
I'm scared.
One time I quoted Austin Powers to
What did you
somebody.
say? What'd you say?
I think I went more from the first movie or whatever, or from the third movie or something. Or like it was the one with Beyonce and the guy comes in with a mole and like Austin Powers just can't
Oh, and
stop
he goes like,
staring at it.
mole,
Mole,
mole, mole,
mole,
mole,
mole.
mole.
Yeah, I think
I'm
I
gonna
said
cut that
something
off
like
and turn it
that.
into guacamole.
Yeah, I
That
think I
shit
said
went
something
hard.
like that. And then the friends I was with, one of them went, you can't quote movies like that to me because it's not appropriate to my faith. So that's what I grew up with. So
Oh,
I
kill
was not,
yourself.
nobody was talking about
Oh, fucking
Jackass.
kill
And
yourself.
it wasn't until I met Shaylin, a girl in junior high who had a fucking mohawk. I still talk to her
Thank
to this
God for
day.
her.
She started talking about how hot Bam was,
And
and
that's the
she showed
tea.
me Jackass.
Wow. Did she
Mhm.
show you Viva La Bam?
No, I got into Viva La Bam when I was a little older in high school, and my friend Katie had internet, so I could watch it there.
I we live very different lives, and that's
Oh,
okay. And
I'm
that's fine.
I think I was such a little latchkey weirdo that my friends' parents thought I was being actively abused. So like,
I would have, if you would have like come over to my house and not have understood references of Jackass or Viva La Bam because okay, we're so fucking off topic, but I don't give a fuck.
yeah, it's
My,
okay.
I had an aunt that lived with me, and for anyone who knows from Viva La Bam, Bam's uncle Don Vito was like this morbidly obese, barely could talk. You could barely understand him. He had subtitles, but it would just be gibberish, wandering eye,
Hmm.
low key, like a little bit of a creep, but in a
High key creep,
high
actually.
key, but in
Yeah.
a fun, like early 2000s way. And he was always like the butt of the joke for Bam. We told my aunt who like peace and love to her if she's listening, she might. She's a little delusional when it comes to the people she dates. She was convinced that like someone who looked like Bon Jovi would just like show up at her door. So when we told her that we signed her up, and this is all made up, but she didn't know that we signed her up for a date with Don Vito competition that Viva La Band was putting on, and she won. She had a stage 11 breakdown. She was like
Oh,
throwing shit and crying and screaming, and we were all fucking dying and laughing.
that's
And
bullying,
she
Noelle.
was hysterical.
I
And
mean,
so like that's just how tapped in the
yeah.
zeitgeist of that TV was like into my life. Even when I was in elementary school and the Osbournes first came on TV, my mom got me an Osbournes metal lunchbox, and it was all of them and standing in front of the house flipping off the camera, and she like drew with Sharpie hearts on all of their middle fingers so I could take it to school. That's how fucking locked the motherfuck in to early trash avant-garde reality TV I
Not me.
was.
On Wednesdays, I churned butter for fun.
Yeah, you were still like inventing the fucking wheel and learning what fire
Dude,
did.
you want to know what I used to do for fun? I would cut up magazines and I would build structures that what I would imagine buildings on other planets would look like.
You know,
And then I would wear garbage bags over my arm like a little backpack, and I would run really fast in the backyard to see if it would lift me off the ground. And
and that's what makes us different people.
it was very much so
Oh
when my
my
friend's
God.
mom bought me a pack of socks once, I was like, oh, cool, thanks. But now I realize
She
she
thought,
thought,
yeah, she thought
because
there was something in the home going on.
yeah, she really did. So shout out to Katie's mom.
They were like,
Uh,
check this out. This is called electricity. And they turned the light on in the living room.
yeah, yeah. And then I accused them of being witches, and I
Yep.
went home. Yep, that's exactly how it happened.
Wow. You know what?
Wow, very different
And
lives we
that's
have
very,
lived.
very different lives. But so this all might be news to you, but in 2002, the Osbournes debuted. And I don't know if you know about this one, 2003, newlyweds Nick and Jessica. Do you know about that one?
I only know what became memed, which was the chicken of the sea.
And you know what? At least you know that.
Yeah.
And these were unfiltered, never before seen access to celebrity life. And fun fact, you can genuinely thank the Osbournes for laying the groundwork for celeb family reality TV, which eventually paved the way for the rise of the Kardashians and the end of humanity as we know it. But by the mid 2000s, MTV had perfected a formula: sensationalism sells. Meanwhile, VH1, watching its music video era fade, faced the need for a similar facelift. Starting in 2003, VH1 underwent a full brand makeover. Recognizing the unstoppable rise of reality TV, the network knew it had to jump on the bandwagon, but it didn't want to simply copy MTV's formula. Instead, VH1 carved out its own niche with celebreality. Reality shows centered around celebrities, especially those who were eccentric, washed up, or firmly in the B-list category. Their Trojan horse for this new direction was The Surreal Life, which premiered in 2003. The show was a social experiment that threw a grab bag of B-list celebs into a single house, forcing them to live together and interact. The first cast included, which I've never seen this. I've never seen the first season. I might have to go back and watch it based off of this cast because you have Flavor Flav. You may know him as the guy who's obsessed with the Olympics, but he started in Public Enemy, known for his oversized clocks worn as necklaces. Tammy Faye,
Yeah, we love her, friend of the
friend
podcast.
of the podcast and famous televangelist and singer. Corey Feldman, former child star from The Goonies and Stand By Me,
Also friend of the podcast.
also friend of the podcast. Ron Jeremy, enemy of the podcast, well
Yes,
known
enough silence on that one. Yeah.
well-known adult film star with a scary dick, Vanilla Ice, 90s rapper famous for Ice Ice Baby, and Seymour Castle, a respected, very well-respected character actor with a quieter presence amid the group. He honestly, it's immoral that they put him on this fucking show.
I do
He's
not
a
know this man.
he's
I'm
a
sorry.
dear sweet man.
He
And
looks nice.
he's nice and he didn't deserve any of what he went through. So, as you can imagine, the results were truly insane, unpredictable, dramatic, nostalgic callbacks to past glory days, and genuinely batshit moments that kept viewers hooked. This format not only set the tone for VH1's celebreality brand, but also paved the way for spin offs and inspired a wave of celebrity driven reality shows across TV. This success birthed VH1's celebreality universe. Flavor Flav became a fan favorite on The Surreal Life, so VH1 brought him back to mix one of the early 2000s biggest reality hits, The Bachelor, with their signature brand of celebreality to create Flavor of Love.
Hell yeah. And you know who comes from Flavor of Love that we love? Tiffany New York Pollard.
Yep.
Who's an American treasure.
Yep. Honestly, the ambassador for Earth if the aliens ever come.
Yep.
So, did you watch Flavor of Love? Do you know about it?
Nope, I've only seen the clips.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah. Fucking
Premiere.
pumpkin, it's on site for spitting on our queen.
You should look up Pumpkin now and you'll be like,
No,
life beat the shit out of
Life
her.
got her ass, yeah.
Life really got her. Premiering in 2006, the show turned rapper Flavor Flav into a dating show kingpin, blending competition, comedy, and unforgettable cat fights, which brings us to who we just mentioned, a major byproduct of reality TV, Tiffany Pollard. Tiffany, I Love New York Pollard. Something that came out of reality TV and specifically the celeb reality TV dating shows was everyday people becoming overnight celebrities, and Tiffany was a perfect example. She debuted on Flavor of Love and built her own reality TV universe based purely on her larger than life personality. VH1 capitalized on this by giving her her own dating show in 2007, I Love New York.
She has the best rant ever done in society, where she reads that Gemma girl down
Yeah,
for filth.
the Gemma's a cunt one.
I have it pulled up.
Will you read it?
Should we indulge? Pretty much, I would let Gemma know that she was a fat cunt. And the shoes she gave me were not something that I would particularly buy for myself. They're Old Maiden type of shoes. And she said that those shoes were meant to be worn on a beautiful woman. So if that is the case, she should have put them back on the rack and she should never even purchase them because she was unqualified to own those shoes if that was the case. And I think that Gemma is just a disgrace. She's a disgrace to women who are actually beautiful and classy. And she doesn't have the vernacular she thinks she possesses. Someone lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful. And she is nothing like that. She is nothing of the sort.
It's beautiful still this day.
Poetry.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that
Modern
rendition.
Shakespeare.
And to speak to Tiffany New York's personality and persona, the internet was not big by any means in 2007. Obviously, it existed, but it was not anywhere near to like the level we are at it today. And she has surpassed time and culture and space because images from her time on Flavor of Love in 2006 resonate still and are
They're still
remaining
memes.
still as memes.
Beyonce.
Yeah,
Still memes.
Beyonce.
She is like Cher. She has had a hit in every fucking decade.
It's so true. That Beyonce, that I think the Gem is a Cunt is from Charm School, and I think Beyonce is from Flavor
That
of
one's
Love.
yeah, that one's from Flavor of Love.
Yeah,
Beyonce.
because one of the girls tries to say that people tell her she looks like Beyonce. She goes, Beyonce, and then I
Yeah.
think she says, "You look like Luther Vandross or
Yeah,
something."
she does. You look like Luther Vandross.
So fucking good. She's so fucking good. God.
So this from her was born like probably the bully era where we went a little too hard with our bullying on the internet,
No.
and that's when we weren't funny. Now it's
No.
coming back again to where we
Yeah,
are
we've come
bullying
back.
people on the internet, but you have to be funny or people just
You have
won't.
to do it right, and she did it
Yep,
right every
yep.
time. So
Oh,
shout
she,
out.
yeah, a true icon, American hero.
Yeah, American Treasure. That same year, as a nod to its original audience of classic rock, who was like MTV was for like teens, VH1 was for classic rock 80s heads. VH1 gave Poison's Bret Michaels his own dating show, Rock of Love. Uh,
This this one I've seen
this
through to the end.
a personal favorite of mine and Chelsea's. I mean, I've watched it all the way to Rock of Love Bus when they were taking shots out of girls' pussies. It's just nothing beats Rock of Love, genuinely. And I loved Flavor of Love. I loved New York, but
No,
nothing compares to Rock of Love. The women, bless them, God bless them, the women who came on to that show are they don't make them like that anymore.
no, they don't. It's
And
women are too afraid to be that feminine.
yeah,
I would,
to be that true, you know what I mean? To be
yeah.
that true and real. People hate when you're fucking real, and that's why Rock of Love was an astonishment. It was incredible. It should be like preserved forever in the loo. Like I'm just I watch it like once a year, all the way through, all
Yeah.
seasons. It's just like the character, just watch Rock of Love if you haven't. But we weren't the only ones who thought that because Rock of Love became one of the network's highest rated series.
Hmm.
And during this period, VH1's top reality shows regularly drew 50 to 100% more viewers than the comparable MTV programs in the same reality space. VH1 quickly became the ultimate spin-off machine. With shows like Charm School, I Love Money, and Daisy of Love, it created a connected reality ecosystem where contestants became repeat players, fueling fan obsession. And for a brief moment, VH1 truly dominated pop culture, which is where we meet Megan Hauserman.
Hell yeah.
She was
This
reality TV's ultimate hustler. What do you know about Megan? What do you remember about Megan?
I know everything about Megan. I don't want to spoil it. I
Okay.
can see where you are going to bring up her
Some stuff.
fisticuffs. No,
Yeah.
her fisticuffs, which I would love to jump back in on in a mere few sentences away.
So, Megan, born in Boca Raton in 1981, she first hit TV screens on VH1's Beauty and the Geek, which aired in 2007. She won it, and the grand prize was $125,000. By the name, you can kind of guess what the premise was. So, but it was her turn on Rock of Love 2 that cemented her persona, the witty gold digger openly aspiring to be a trophy wife. She declared that goal on Charm School moments before getting kicked off a few episodes in for fighting and later beat up by Sharon Osbourne, who hosted Charm School after Megan mocked Ozzy Osbourne's addiction in the reunion episode.
So everybody on the internet knows who Megan is, especially recently when you see on some sort of reunion special Sharon Osbourne stand up acting so nonchalant and throwing a drink in Megan's face. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about the girl on TikTok right now that everyone's seeing Sharon Osbourne throw a drink in her face and then it cuts, but you see security and you know she got a wallop in.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So Megan talks shit about like Ozzy, saying like something about Sharon has to wipe his ass or whatever because he's so fucked up, whatever. Sharon pretends to have like a coughing fit and she gets up and like turns to cough and then takes her wine and throws it on Megan. And it's like the pocket sand because she hits her with that. And Megan is like, oh, fuck, she's got wine all over. People start getting up and
Mhm.
Sharon Osbourne just starts mollywopping her ass, dude.
Yeah.
It was nuts. And Megan is fucking tall and she wears heels. So she probably had like a good 5 inches on Sharon Osbourne and she still got her shit rocked.
Yeah. She was the windmill and Sharon Osbourne was Don Quixote. She got bopped. And
Yeah.
it's good to see. It's nice. I've really been into restorative justice lately. And I think if someone talks shit and they get hit, that means that nature has set itself right again.
I agree. It is unfortunate though that the future would show us that Sharon Osbourne is such a fucking Zionist
Yeah,
freak that
that
she
that
would
sucks.
she would take time out of mourning her own husband's death to make sure she posted about being pro-Israel. So,
Yeah, a broken
um,
clock is right twice a day at
yeah,
least.
if we could go back in time, I would
Yeah.
make
And
sure that Megan beats the shit out of her. So,
yeah, at least gets a couple of
yeah,
joint licks in.
yeah,
At
one
least one
shot.
for Gaza. I wish she
Yeah,
could have gotten in one for Gaza.
yeah. And you know what? And we can only hope it might happen to this day. But
It could still happen.
Megan's boldness, blonde hair, and bikinis as everyday outfits made her a fan favorite and a casting producer's dream. After strong showings on the first season of I Love Money and Charm School, VH1 gave her a starring role. Megan Wants a Millionaire. Airing on August 2nd, 2009, the concept was simple. 17 allegedly wealthy bachelors competed for Megan's love. Contestants could earn credit cards from Megan, similar to a rose on The Bachelor, but it gives you a leg up in the game. But the millionaire requirement was shaky at best. One man was a trust fund heir still living at home on an allowance, and the trust fund was nowhere to be found as his grandpa was very much still alive. One,
Well,
what?
that's just paperwork.
You need to watch clips of him. First of all, again, they don't make TV like they used to. He's
Yeah.
fucking insane. He is like having to explain to like Megan's friends that he would have to ask his parents for permission to buy her stuff. And they were like, "Do you not have your own money?" And he's like, "Well, I will eventually when my grandpa dies." It's incredible
Man.
TV.
Do you know what? Did you ever watch The Swan?
The Swan deserves its own episode.
Yeah, okay.
The Swan and The Biggest Loser, we will have to circle back to as some of the
Yeah.
darkest days in reality show TV. For those who don't know, The Swan was a plastic surgery competition where they took quote unquote ugly ducklings and had them go through extensive extreme body modifications and altering to make them conventionally hot. And keep in mind, this is in the early 2000s when boob job technology was barely getting there. God bless all of the soldiers, the silicone soldiers who went
Yeah.
through botched tit jobs so we can have NASA level boobs to this day.
Yeah.
But that was the whole premise of the fucking show. And then we had The Biggest Loser, which was a weight loss competition show that encouraged eating disorders like you've never seen before. It was, again, we lived during an era that many of you will never understand or comprehend, and it would break your brains to experience it. But it
Hmm.
was, am I going to sit here and pretend like I didn't watch it? No, of course I fucking watched it. And of course I was like, wow, this is incredible TV. Now, as an adult with a fully formed brain, I'm like, that was fucking insane and
Still gonna
dystopian.
watch it though.
But, they
I
just don't
if
make
I
them
could
like they used to.
yeah, if I could restream The Swan somewhere for free, watching these women go through tens of thousands of dollars of plastic surgery and then they make them get on the elliptical and they're crying blood.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would. I'm
yeah.
just a little curious. It's like rotten.com. I
Yep.
just need to see what a hand,
Rotten.com
yeah, I just need to see what a hand got like stuck in a garbage disposal looks like at least once in my life.
or like the waste some time.com, just
Yeah,
watching someone get fucking curb stomped. You know what? We lived in a different time and era,
we did. We
but
did.
one standout contestant on Megan Wants a Millionaire was Ryan Jenkins, a Canadian real estate developer known for his swagger, confidence, and an estimated net worth of 2.5 million. From early on in the show, Ryan made a strong impression by both admitting he needed a green card, but that in return, he wouldn't make Megan sign a prenup.
Oh, well, that's actually quite the deal.
I know. Some people say romance is dead. I say
It's just,
it's
You got to look in the paperwork for
Yeah, you
it.
just got to look with your lawyers. This made him the first to receive Megan's coveted credit card. I have to spoil the show a little bit, and you'll learn why in a second, but Ryan would go on to place third. So let's talk about Ryan.
Yeah.
Producers of Megan Wants a Millionaire were impressed enough with Ryan Jenkins' on screen presence and personality to cast him in another VH1 competition, I Love Money 3. I Love Money, which Megan was also on the first season of, brought together contestants from various VH1 dating and competition shows like Flavor of Love, Rock of Love, Megan Wants a Millionaire to compete for a cash prize, usually about $250,000. Following the wrap of filming in March 2009, Ryan traveled to Las Vegas to attend a social event. Think of it as a kind of pre-influencer party.
Mm-hmm.
It was there that he met Jasmine Fior, a swimsuit model from Santa Cruz. Their connection was swift, intense, and Coke fueled, and not Coca-Cola. They married just 2 days later on March 18th at the famous Little White Wedding Chapel in Vegas. By June 2009, cracks began to show in Ryan Jenkins' relationship with Jasmine. Jenkins was charged with domestic violence after allegedly shoving Jasmine into a pool in what appeared to be an attempted drowning, resulting in court-ordered counseling mandates. What VH1 didn't know at the time was that Ryan had a prior 2007 assault conviction in Calgary, a significant failure in their background check process that would later haunt the network. Between August 13th and 14th of 2009, Ryan and Jasmine attended a charity poker tournament in San Diego. And that would be the last time Jasmine was seen alive. The following day, August 15th, Jasmine's body was found stuffed inside a suitcase in a dumpster in Buena Park. In a
No, it's
brutal,
no bueno.
it is no bueno.
Sorry.
Good job. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rip. Sorry.
In a brutal attempt to prevent identification, her teeth and fingers had been removed. You might be wondering, how did they identify her so quickly?
No, well, how did they identify her so quickly?
The serial number on her breast implants.
Damn! Don't say that breast implants have never aided in a crime.
They've done a lot, actually. And I fear this identifying a body who has breast implants, like, has been, that's how they're able to do it in most cases. So,
Well, get breast implants, ladies. It's like a analog Apple ID tag.
yeah. And honestly, I didn't need any more convincing. But as is often the case in murder investigations, suspicion quickly fell on someone close and more specifically, the husband. Investigators reviewed surveillance footage from the Hilton Del Mar Hotel, which captured Ryan and Jasmine leaving around 2:30 a.m. Hours after the discovery of Jasmine's body, Ryan called police at 8:55 p.m. on August 15th, claiming she had vanished after running errands. Shortly after hanging up the phone, knowing he's a fucking dumbass caught red-handed, Ryan fled the area. He left Los Angeles, retrieving his boat, and headed towards Canada in an attempt to evade capture.
Damn, that's cool. He had a boat, though.
I don't know what he did with it because I don't think he took the boat. I think he just like hatched it to a car, but whatever.
Fucking,
He's an
that's
idiot.
lame. Yeah.
4 days after his running from the police, Ryan was publicly named a person of interest with a $25,000 reward posted for information on where to find him. So let's jump back to VH1 for a moment. By this point, the third episode of Megan Wants a Millionaire had already aired. In an effort to distance themselves from the tabloid scandal and to try and dodge having to admit that they had fundamentally failed by allowing a known and charged woman beater not only to appear on the show but to almost win it, they quickly pulled Megan Wants a Millionaire from air mid-season. A few days later, on August 20th, authorities issued an official arrest warrant for Ryan Jenkins, charging him with Jasmine's murder. What followed was a multi-day manhunt that stretched across the US-Canada border. Ryan was fleeing back to his home country of Canada, seemingly hoping that cross-border red tape would delay the search for him. And his flight did trigger an international search involving multiple law enforcement agencies. However, it wasn't law enforcement that ultimately led to his capture. It was motel staff in Hope, British Columbia, a small town east of Vancouver.
Oh yeah, the working man got his ass.
Staff there noticed a man acting fucking weird and recognized him from TV. They reported their concerns to the authorities, but by the time investigators made it to the motel, Ryan was already dead.
Uh,
I
Double
know.
homicide.
I hate when it happens.
Hmm.
On August 23rd, 2009, just 3 days after the arrest warrant was issued, he was found dead by suicide in his motel room. He had hanged himself from a coat rack, and authorities also discovered a video message Ryan had recorded before his death. The full contents of the video message, or so-called digital will, were never publicly released in detail. However, reports indicate that the video included him apologizing to his family and expressing remorse for his actions. As mentioned earlier, VH1 scraped Megan Wants a Millionaire mid-season to distance itself from Ryan Jenkins. And what I forgot to mention was that Ryan actually won I Love Money 3.
What?
Yeah, you hate it. You hate to see it. He had a little bit of money for a little bit of time. VH1 never aired that season, reportedly taking a loss estimated around 12 million due to production costs and lost advertising revenue. This fallout was largely because the network had not invested adequately in thorough background checks. At the time, VH1 hired Collective Intelligence to conduct background screenings, who then outsourced the work to Straightline International. However, they all failed to check the Royal Canadian Mounted Police records, missing Ryan's prior assault conviction in Canada.
So they only checked. They're like, well, just look in the States then.
Yeah, they just did a Google search. They said, "Who is Ryan Jenkins?" And then they said, "We've done it.
Yeah.
All good here." After Jasmine's murder, Viacom, now Paramount, launched an internal audit to investigate VH1's contestant vetting process. The audit revealed significant gaps and failures in background screenings, including outsourced background checks that missed critical records, inadequate international database searches, a lack of psychological evaluations or ongoing monitoring of contestants during filming and shortly after filming, insufficient communication and oversight between VH1 production companies and background check firms. And as a result of the audit's findings, VH1 and other Viacom networks implemented stricter vetting protocols, including mandating comprehensive background checks covering international crime databases, introducing psychological screenings to assess contestants' mental and emotional stability, establishing ongoing monitoring of contestants throughout production to identify and address issues proactively, and increasing oversight of third-party background check vendors to ensure thoroughness and accuracy. The audit exposed multiple vetting failures, leading VH1 to agree to a settlement of approximately $810,000 related to the mishandling of background checks and the resulting fallout. The settlement was reportedly paid to the production companies and networks involved to cover the costs such as legal fees, audits, and damages linked to pulling Megan Wants a Millionaire and shelving I Love Money 3. There is no public record indicating that any portion of the settlement went directly to the individuals, like contestants or victims' families, as just a little note there.
I was literally going to ask that. I'm like, wait, that sounds like all the money just went back to the people who are already making money.
Yep, it did.
Okay, just double checking.
In later interviews, Megan said she was devastated, revealing that she genuinely liked Ryan. In 2020, she disclosed that she wanted him as her final pick, but producers discouraged it due to preserving drama for a potential second season. She later would upload episodes, including the unseen episode 4 and 5 on YouTube. The scandal destroyed VH1's dating show Dynasty almost overnight. Tiffany New York Pollard revealed that I Love New York 3 and New York Goes to Work Part 2 were canceled immediately.
No.
I know. We were robbed.
Really...
You're robbed of culture.
Yep.
Additionally, shows like Rock of Love Charm School and other spin-offs linked to the Flavor of Love franchise were either shelved or significantly scaled back. MTV also shifted its content strategy to favor more structured competition-based reality shows like The Challenge, which featured rigorous casting protocols and a controlled filming environment. The network
The Challenge is good. I love The Challenge.
I don't think I ever watched The Challenge.
It's good. It just takes old real world people and puts them into
I think
a challenge, so to speak.
the last thing I did was like watch real world versus road rules. And like that's when I tapped out of MTV.
Mm, that's fair.
The network moved away from the more freeform, quote, party house style reality shows that had been popular earlier in the decade. This industry-wide reckoning after the scandal led all major TV companies to overhaul their vetting processes, balancing the demand for gripping reality content with a stronger commitment to cast safety and liability management. The lesson? In the rush to pump out addictive, sensational content, networks sacrificed due diligence and paid a heavy price with lives, lawsuits, and a fractured reality TV empire. After the scandal, VH1 shifted away from contestant driven dating competitions towards safer celebrity focused reality series like Celebrity Rehab and Love and Hip Hop. MTV leaned into more structured reality formats and documentary style shows, placing a greater emphasis on cast vetting and on-set safety, like with The Challenge, True Life, and 16 and Pregnant. Both networks increased investments in background checks, psychological screenings, and ongoing contestant monitoring. Ultimately, Jasmine's murder marked a turning point in reality TV, prompting networks to balance drama with the responsibility to protect both participants and their reputations. And that's it, girl. That's
Yeah,
the
they definitely are
downfall.
protecting reputations. Uh,
And I think about it, um, there was a swift change in reality TV because you don't get you don't get psychos like you used to. You don't get because like sure you have unhinged people. Obviously, everyone is pretty familiar with like the Scandival,
yeah.
but that's still not the level that these bitches were at.
Yeah, this was pretty, it was like Frenchy, totally blacking out, and getting like butt naked, charm school, Bad Girls Club. One of the
Bad
girls had
Girls
to go
Club.
home because she like tried to stab a bartender.
I mean, yeah, you just don't. And when was the first Love Island UK?
Oh,
2015. I
Love
think
Island UK was,
the first season of Love Island UK in 2015, I think, was the official nail in the coffin for a reality TV show.
hmm
This was when they started to like censor everything. You no longer could have sex. You no longer could have more than 2 drinks a night. The cigarettes and vapes were taken off screen. Like in
Yeah,
2009, 2010, they said, okay, we have to do background checks and we have to do psych analysis. And we have to have psych on staff 24/7. But it
yeah, dude.
took like 5 years later for them to be like, okay, we got to calm down on the open bar.
Remember when you couldn't fight anymore on Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
Devastated,
And then look, that fucking shit died. All that shit died.
including Jerry Springer.
Yeah, including him, RIP. But we are seeing a bit of a resurgence though, because people are cutting the middleman out. Now, with streaming on Twitch or creating your own mini series on YouTube, you can circumvent having to do background checks on people.
Yeah.
And internet personality Drewski has like a dating show on YouTube and it's fucking insane. And it is reminiscent of the old days because these bitches be fighting and they be fighting for real. And it makes me miss and yearn, but I also very much recognize and am thankful for the vetting process and background checks that we now do because, you know, the stars can only burn bright for so long.
Yeah, I don't want any women to get hurt either, so
Yeah, I don't need more psychos.
nah.
We got enough. So anyway, that's it. Technically the downfall of reality TV, technically the true crime story of Megan Once a Millionaire.
Fuck that guy. He ruined everything for us.
Ryan Jenkins, you ugly bitch. Look him up. He's ugly too.
I know
So
he doesn't look, there's like nothing special about him either.
I never actually watched Megan Wants a Millionaire. It was always like a thing on my morbid reality TV bucket list was to watch it because like I never got to see it. And I learned while researching this that she actually did upload some episodes during COVID.
Dude, we gotta go find him.
I know. I didn't know that. So That's that. Speaking of things you can find a link in all of our bios. We are at Go to Hell Podcast. I am at Noelle Fain. That is at Sith Lord. And in that link tree in our bios, you can find a link to our Patreon. $1 gets you in. This week we did a full breakdown of Sinners. So shout out to Cece for the recommendation on that. And shout out to anyone who listens to it. Jump in the comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us if you agree. Tell us to fucking kill ourselves. I don't know. And speaking of killing ourselves, you can also find a link to YouTube where all of our episodes are uploaded and you can comment there and bully us. We also have a link to our merch. 100% of proceeds are donated. Go check that out. We've got cool shit that you can wear to FanX, which is coming up in September. We're also going to be in Idaho for a different convention that I don't remember the
Magic
name.
City Comic Con.
Magic City Comic Con. So we're going to be there and then we're going to be at FanX. When we get the schedules, we'll tell you those, but you'll be seeing Chelsea and I on some horror panels, so check that out. Um, and speaking of things on our merch, Kelly Holloran or at Wildwood Owl on Etsy makes cool shit for us that you can see there in the merch, and she makes cool shit in general. And in that link tree in our bio, you can find a link to her Etsy, so check out that stuff. Support her. She supports us. She's fantastic. And then we have a link to listen to us, which I don't know why you'd need it, but it's anywhere podcasts are heard.
Hell yeah.
So sorry if I got really nasally at the end of this. I've been getting over a sinus infection, but you have to deal with it. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give a hail to, obviously, a rest in peace to Jasmine. It sucks that another beautiful, talented woman was killed by an ugly, untalented man. Sometimes men aren't lonely enough and they should suffer more.
Yeah, be no man's peace.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to give a hail to the queen of reality TV, Tiffany New York Bullard.
I'm gonna say hail breast implants. Bam.
Yeah, actually, another hail to breast implants. You're so right about that.
Yep.
Well, let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay, bye.
Bye.